Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to yet another review. Chevrolet Volt. That's right, baby. Um, what I want to tell you guys on the channel is that if you have a car that you really love and that you're trying to take care of, there's no better way of you protecting the car you love uh, than, say, buying an electric vehicle. I've had this car for about 4 days, and it is one of the best decisions I could have ever made. I fill her up here at the house on a regular 120 outlet, which is kind of weird to show this because I've never owned an electric car. And as you guys know, it's both electric and gas. But what's crazy is look at that view there. It's one of the weirdest views ever. Is you go from this to this. I mean, these are completely night and day vehicles. So again, you're going from this to this. Now what I love about this is I'm protecting this car. This is my baby, and I was using her as a daily driver. And now I'm just gonna take her to work on Fridays and keep her in an incubated state, almost like a baby. And I love that about it. I love that this car allows me that opportunity. I say invest in an electric vehicle or a high mileage, low gas using car, and you will protect whatever your baby may be. It could be a Dodge Challenger, the new GT500. This allows you to protect your investment, right? And so I just wanted to give a quick video around, again, the first 3, 4, maybe 5 days I've owned this vehicle. I've been taking it to work every single day. And it is by far one of the best purchases I've ever done. I should have bought this car, guys, years ago. I should have bought the Chevy Volt or something similar. I couldn't go with the Leaf just because aesthetically I just couldn't see myself in a Leaf. At least this car, looks like a normal car, and you can't really tell. But I should have bought this car 4 or 5 years ago when I had my other, when I had my Challenger Hellcat and my Alfa Romeo Giulia Quattrofoglio. I've owned a lot of cars, and what would happen is whenever you think about, trading in your vehicle, such as a Camaro ZL1, the depreciation on the amount of miles you put on this car, especially like me on a daily driver, you can really take a big hit. All cars depreciate, but when you're putting a lot of miles and you're putting grind and wear and tear of traffic, and the tires are Michelins and they're expensive, you're protecting the car from depreciation somewhat. Again, all cars depreciate, that's a fact. And so going out there and buying a car like this that's so comfortable, it's convenient, it's practical, it's a 4-door, it's on a regular outlet. Again, you can upgrade to a 240, but I don't need this. I get home from work and I park this car here and I connect it. And in the morning, I have almost 40 miles of electric only. This car doesn't even use gas compared to something like this. You're gonna be strong with the pedal and you're probably gonna put gas twice, per week. So you're going to be spending $75 to $100 just on fuel to support this car. Now, I'm not banging it. When you buy a car like this, you're not buying it because it's fuel efficient. I get it. But what I am just saying is that for those of you guys that want to protect your car and your investment, this is what you should probably be getting, something similar to this, right? And so I just wanted to share my thoughts, why I did what I did, and I think there's a lot of other folks out there that should be doing something similar. If you really have a car that you really like, and you can afford it, right? Because it is expensive, right? I added this car for full coverage, and my insurance cost only went up $152 for 6 months. So again, you do have some additional cost, right? But this is a very low cost car, right? Relatively speaking, right? You rarely have to change the oil on the car because they have generative brakes on it. You rarely have to change the brakes. You might get some wear on the tires because the tires, are pulling from the front, so you want to make sure you're constantly changing the tires. But overall, when you think of an overall car from a cost perspective or a cost to own, which a lot of people look at, this is a very low cost vehicle. And in case you guys don't know, some of you guys might say, well, it's an electric car. What happens if something goes bad with them? Just know that these cars come from the factory with about 8 years, 100,000 miles of protection on the battery alone. So if something would happen to the battery of the car, you're protected, guys. So of course, the newer you buy a car, say a 14 or a 15, you're still protected under those years. It's a very, very low maintenance car. It's super quiet, it's super comfortable, and when you want to take out the rock star, right? This is my rock star, or my little girl would say the Batmobile because she thinks it looks like the Batmobile, and so do the kids in the neighborhood. When you want to take out the monster, it's there. You want to get some excitement, it's there. You want to drive the car for the week because you don't want to drive the electric car, it's there. It's just about having the option. And again, what better way to spend some capital on a used, like mine, 2013, spend some cash, ultimately you're going to get that back. Because if you keep this car for 2 or 3 or 4 years and you leave it, at 5, 8, 9,000 miles, when you decide to trade up or trade it in, you're going to get a lot more value for this car, right? Just picture this. You're driving this car like myself. Let's say you're putting in 15,000 miles a year. In 3 years, you're at 45,000 miles. Well, when you have something like this, right, that you bought it for that purpose to put miles, and it's an electric car, next thing you know, 3 years from now, you might just have 7,000 miles on this car, maybe 10,000 miles. And so when you go on to trade it, or you want to get something different, what do you think is going to bring more value? A Camaro ZL1 1LE with 45, 50,000 miles? Or one with just, 8, 10,000 miles? So these are things you got to think of. And it's just not the miles, it's, the wear and tear of the vehicle. When you're driving it every single day, you get nicks and knacks and all these things and windshield hits and, so that's why you get something like this. And again, it doesn't have to be specific to this, but if you own a supercar or a real nice car that you really love, this is the way to go. And again, I should have done this, 4 or 5 years ago, because I like to go through cars every 3 years. And so this was the perfect move. I don't see myself getting rid of this car. I really don't. Why? It's so low maintenance. It doesn't cost much to operate. Why would you get rid of a car like this, right? Granted, you don't have the exhilarating fun, but you can't drive this every single day, in especially Houston traffic where you're bumper to bumper. It's not like you can, get all the horsepower out of it. Yeah, there'll be some openings where you can probably open her up, but typically you're just kind of bumper to bumper, right? Yeah, you're not driving in style all the time, but man, come on, dude. Like, why wouldn't you get something like this? And again, it's such a low maintenance car, guys. Electricity, you might say, well, how much is the electricity? So I'm with an electric provider where I get my daily usage every day, okay? And this car is using around 10 kilowatts per day on a charge to charge up this car. Guys, if you're at a 10-cent rate with your electric provider, that's about $1.10 to fully load this car for 40 miles. So you're probably spending about $25 to $30 a month just on electricity of this car, right? And this is not taking into consideration all the other free electricity stops that are out there. In my situation, my company has 4 outlets where I can actually plug in for free. So this car, again, is so cheap relative to the cost of this. And again, I know I'm talking about 2 different vehicles, right? I'm not trying to say, well, you know, why did I do that? No, it's just trying to give you guys and open up your eyes that when you have something like this and you really love your car and you want to take care of it, these are the things that I would recommend now. You know, now that I'm opening my eyes to this, and I'm just thinking, I just should have done this so much earlier. And so again, it's 9-day, right? These vehicles are 9-day. This is a very smooth car. It is very practical. It's 4 doors, has a nice hatch that opens up completely. You can store some stuff in there. And it runs on electricity, and if the electricity runs out after 40 miles, the gas engine kicks in, right? So this right here, you know, it's in a whole different neighborhood. And I love my Camaro ZL1 1LE, and I want to protect it, right? And so what better way to do it than buying an electric vehicle or something that's very reliable, guys, that maybe is a gas car, doesn't need to be electric, but that's really, really fuel efficient. But I don't understand why you would go with something fuel efficient when you can go out there and get a Chevy Volt or something cheap that runs on electricity. So now you're saving both on gas and electricity for electricity, which is just a big, you know, to me it's just common sense. I wish again I had this common sense earlier, but I just wanted to give an update on the car. I've had it for 4 days and I'm truly fascinated with it, how quiet it is, how compliant, how it rides, and how I'm so glad I pulled the trigger to make this purchase, because come to find out, I'm actually enjoying the car a lot. Don't get me wrong, I miss this car, and I'll still drive her on Fridays, and maybe I won't, but the other thing I like about it is, you know, I do believe that if you go a week or 2 weeks without driving your car, when you get into it, you get a sense of appreciation for this vehicle even more. You get excited about the vehicle even more because you miss it. You haven't been driving it for so long. So when you get on it, it almost feels like it's a new vehicle again, if that makes any sense, right? So that's pretty much it, guys. I wanted to give you guys the importance of looking at options out there around vehicles. If you can, I get it. It can get expensive, right? So from an affordability perspective, if you can do it, do it. I mean, you will not regret it, and you will thank me for this. You'll do a shout out later for this because you're gonna say, wow, man, you're absolutely right. I should have just gotten a Chevrolet Volt or an electric car or something way more fuel efficient to protect whatever car. You might have a ZR1 or a Porsche GT3. Whatever you're driving, you should be looking at alternatives like the Chevy Volt. That's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. Nothing going on with her. Still haven't took her in to get a tint. Still thinking about a wrap I want to do on the car. I think I'm gonna do with satin steel or satin gray. I think that's what I'm gonna do, or a matte steel or matte gray. That's probably where I'm gonna lean. And I'm still indecisive about the exhaust. I don't know if I want to make her any louder. I think the stock is loud enough. I know some owners might think it's not, hence why they're replacing it. But I think if you drive this for a while and all of a sudden you turn this on, because this is so quiet, all of a sudden this seems so loud, if that makes any sense. So that's pretty much it, guys. I wanted to show you both vehicles. They fit right there back to back. And if you're looking into an electric car, again, you should do it. You'll thank me later. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways. Leave a comment. I don't know. Figure some out. Peace.